Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. All right, PFL 2024 championships in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Riyadh season. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Riyadh.
Riyadh.
Yeah.
Riyadh season. You know, so like in the Middle East, you got Saudi Arabia, you got the UAE,
Yep.
then you got Dubai.
No, so
No?
Dubai is in the UAE.
Oh, okay.
So within the UAE, there's like 7 emirates. So there's Dubai and Abu Dhabi are the most known ones.
Okay.
So they're like states almost. Yeah.
Okay, so Abu Dhabi and Dubai are in the UAE. So
yeah.
basically, it's the UAE and Saudi Arabia that are the powerhouses for MMA. All right, you educating me. That's good. I need to know that because I'll probably end up going to the Middle East real soon. Is it Middle East, right?
Yeah, it's in the Middle East.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to improperly, you know, I don't know.
Classify it.
Yeah, classify it as something. It's Asia.
It is in Asia.
It's
Asia,
Asia,
a lot of
right?
people think Asia is just like, China and Japan, but it's in Asia.
Yeah, it's Asia, man. Like, Asians don't all look the same.
Yeah.
Right, so let's keep it real. Anyways, lightweight championship between Primus and Gadzhi.
Gadzhi Rabadanov.
Okay, Rabadanov,
Yeah.
right? So Rabadanov, man, he's fought for a long time, and Brent Primus has been around for a long time, but he hasn't really fought that much, to be honest. Like, only 18 total fights versus Rabadanov, who has 30 total fights. And if you look at their age, like, Brent Primus is 8 years older.
Yeah.
Brent Primus is 39, dude. Just off the age of 39, I'd have to pick Rabadanov. I know we gotta talk about the fight, but I'm just saying, let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy, especially at lightweight.
Exactly.
It's a heavyweight fight, yeah.
And I'm just joking because Brent Primus is extremely talented. Let's go over like what he's done so far. He is the former Bellator lightweight champion, and he jumped in once the merger happened. He's all like, "Hey, I'm jumping into this season." Hops in, takes on Bruno Miranda in the first round in April. Chokes him out rear naked, and then back-to-back rear naked chokes. Solomon Renfro chokes him out rear naked, and then he fights Clay Collard and beats him by decision. But they're all kind of similar, right?
They're all strikers.
Yeah, they're all strikers, and he fought them all similar.
Yeah.
Like he took their backs, like he took them down, like it's. But yeah, so what do you think of like his performances overall?
I mean, Renfro and Miranda together, they're just pure Muay Thai strikers. Like, Renfro has nothing on the ground. Clay Collard, on the other hand, he's also a boxer primarily, but he's probably got the best takedown defense out of all three of them. But yeah, he fought them very similar. Got not a layup, but like kind of an easy path to the $1 million, and then that was just his luck. And I don't blame him. You get the easy path, no problem. But then now, having to face against Gadzhi Rabadanov, that's a bit of a tougher fight than all these three guys were. And Brent is like a good, offensive wrestler, and he's got very good jiu-jitsu as well, big for the weight class, and he's been around for a while, so it's going to be interesting to see now how this dynamic plays out, but then again, he is like on the wrong side of Father Time,
Oh, seriously.
Yeah.
Like D1 wrestler, high level jiu-jitsu, and we've seen that in every single fight that he's had. He has big wins, dude. He beat Mansour.
Chandler.
He beat Chandler. He beat Benson Henderson. That list, of fighters. Chandler, Benson Henderson, Mansour. Mansour was a beast, dude, on the ground, and he beat him on the ground. You know what I mean? Benson Henderson, pretty good on the ground as well. Wrestler.
Yeah.
He's a striker, but he's a wrestler too.
He's a wrestler at the base. Yeah.
So like, he's been Brent Primus has been very impressive. Even though I joke about his age, but he's faced everybody. He can, and he's done really well. And like, it's almost like it's like his reward for the path he took. Because remember, he fought Usman.
Yeah, and he gave him some trouble in that.
Yeah, he did, but then it was overturned to a no contest because of some drug issue.
Steroids.
Yeah, that's a weird one, right?
And they didn't reveal it.
This is a weird one.
It's
right?
very interesting.
Very, very weird, right?
Because they came out, they're like, oh, it was something he needed for medication. And like, oh, what's the medication?
Yeah.
Like, Well, we can't tell you. What do you mean?
Because that's private too. You know, what I mean, if your illness is private to
True.
to people, you don't have to tell people.
I think in USADA and WADA and all these guys, they have clauses that if you have like an illness or something like that, you don't actually have to disclose that to the public. So it is interesting, but one could speculate.
Yeah, for sure. And we got Rabadanov. Man, he's on a 9-5 win streak, 5-0 in Bellator, 4-0 in PFL. Let's look at the season that he went through this year. He took on Solomon Renfro first round, decisioned him. Elvis Espinoza decisioned him. And then against Michael Dufort, finished him in the second round.
Crazy.
And I feel like Michael Dufort was probably the best fighter out of all of them, and he ended up finishing them,
He
right?
finished him with a crazy left hook as well,
Yeah.
It was real good. Interesting. He's not really known for finishes though.
No.
Like he's more of a decision merchant, to be honest. But in that Dufort fight, she came out of nowhere, knocked him out with the left hook, which is good. And he is, like in my eyes, the best fighter out of that list of Elvin Espinoza and Solomon Renfro. And Solomon Renfro again coming up, he just got like wrestle fuck practically in the fight. Because he's a striker, good power, very dangerous on the feet, and Gadzhi went in there, wanted to avoid that at all costs, and just ran through him on the ground. So that was a good performance.
I believe Rabadanov trains with Habib.
Yeah, he does
in
train
that team, right?
Yeah.
So he's training with Usman.
Yep.
And Usman fought Brent
Brent
Primus.
Primus, yeah.
Dude, that's got to be a huge advantage for
Very big
Rabadanov,
advantage.
right? And then stylistically, Rabadanov can grapple. He can wrestle.
He's well-rounded.
Yeah, he's well-rounded, right?
Yeah.
You'd have to give the striking advantage to Rabadanov.
Yes, by far.
In this fight. I'm going to have to pick Rabadanov in this fight by knockout.
Yeah.
I think he knocks him out on the
rounds.
feet.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be able to neutralize the grappling. Because, when you look at Brent Primus's takedowns, they're not like the most intricate takedowns.
Yeah.
They're basics, but his strong basics. And I feel like Rabadanov is going to be ready for those strong basics.
Yeah, definitely. And then the only place I see Brent giving him trouble really is on the ground, like in terms of jiu-jitsu and positional wise, yeah. But I don't know if he gets it down there. And if he doesn't get it down there, it's not going to be good for him with the feet. Because Brent can strike and whatever, but it's very rudimentary and very fundamental basics,
Well, he's got to throw those calf kicks, right?
Yeah.
Better throw those calf
try
kicks.
to catch the pineal nerve or whatever.
Imagine if that happened.
Oh my god.
Exactly like the Chandler
The
fight.
Chandler fight, yeah.
And he beats it Rabadanov like that. Like Rabadanov is like can't even walk.
The
and shit.
flukiest way to get a million.
Yeah.
I mean, is it really a fluke if you done it twice?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you win and you get $1 million. You get
Yeah.
the big belt. You know what I mean? Like, and you're etched in history as the season winner. But yeah, man, Brent Primus. When you look at age and Brent Primus, like I've interviewed him before. He's a super nice guy. Like very respectful guy. He never really talks shit about anybody.
Yeah. Just a class act.
And if he doesn't like you, he'll say he doesn't like you. Like he doesn't like Michael Chandler a lot because he thinks Michael Chandler's a cheater. And
Yeah.
I've seen what he's done. Right?
Seen what he did to Oliveira.
It's facts, right?
Yeah.
But I think Rabadanov, it's his time. He's 31. Like he's in his prime. I don't know if Brent Primus is still in his prime at 39. We'll find out. But I think
he's exiting it, honestly.
Yeah.
Even with his last few performances, like even though 2 of them are finishes, they're just against very favorable matchups. If he didn't finish those, I would be very surprised. But yeah, it's just I don't think he's the same as he was.
Yeah, I think also Rabadanov has a better gas tank. He's not as muscular as Brent Primus. Brent Primus is pretty muscular, dude.
He's huge for the weight class, yeah.
And I think Rabadanov will be able to use his athleticism and be able to scramble really well against Brent Primus, and maybe even be faster. Because if you notice, Brent Primus, he loves to like switch into certain positions, like especially to the back.
Yeah.
But he's not as fast as a lot of the young guys.
Yeah, it kind of takes his time.
Yeah, he takes it. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say he takes his time, and I think Rabadanov will be able to like squeeze out of positions and time things really well because he has high level grappling, and he's gonna use his striking to win the fight.
And especially has the input from Usman as well. Usman's just gonna tell him, I felt this from him. He was this strong, like this. So he's gonna know exactly what to expect from him as Usman is a prior opponent.
Yeah. Primus is a plus 425.
It's a bit of a... I mean, look, I wouldn't be surprised at these odds, but Primus could win. Like,
Yeah.
given, like, he's, you know, he could be a tricky veteran, you know, he could use jiu-jitsu, you know, and he could be, like, a big parlay ruiner, because the odds are a bit too heavy for plus 425. I would put it more, like, plus 200, plus 300, around there. But Rabadanov being the favorite is...
Minus 650 is insane.
Yeah,
that's too much, dude. That's too
so
much.
I don't think it would hurt putting some money on Primus, because even though he is at the end of his tail end of his career and 39 years old, he could still, you know, use his little tricks to get a decision or something. But I don't know about plus 425. That's a heavy underdog.
That's a good enough like underdog, and he has a good enough chance to win, to where you could put a $50 on it.
$50.
Yeah, $50. Maybe even like a submission prop, which is probably more than that.
Yeah, probably plus 1,000.
Yeah, so like, if you're betting side, like, if you're willing to risk, I would go with Brent Primus, but straight up bet, dude, I think Rabadanov wins by knockout in the first 3 rounds. I think he does. I think cardio will become an issue maybe for
Brent.
And that's terrible to be tired, and you're standing there striking against somebody that has knockout power.
Yeah.
And he clearly has knockout power, Rabadanov, right? Because he knocked out his last opponent with that left hook, and he has like 7 TKO finishes.
Yeah.
So it's not like he doesn't have the power, punching power to take somebody out. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting fight, man. It's one of the more interesting fights, I think, out of all the championship fights.
Yeah, and even with given with Dufour never lost by KO until the
exactly
the Rabadanov fight, so that shows that he can crack chins as well.
I remember I interviewed Dufour ahead of that fight against Rabadanov, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna use my striking," and it was just you know.
That didn't end up
Fighters are confident, man. You
Yeah.
have to be. But Rabadanov, knockout.
First 3 rounds, definitely.
$1 million winner.